There's two different files that you'll need to print out. This first one here, which you can see is one of the arms for the laptop cooler. This one doesn't have the USB little recess in it, and this is the one which has the USB recess in it. So you'll need to print 3 of these and 1 of those. So let's get started then. So just some tips on printing these parts. Both of these parts are printed in the orientation as shown, with this side down on the printer bed. There'll be a couple of areas of support material that you need to remove. Here's one here which has come off the printer. I've printed with a little bit of brim around the bottom, which you can remove just to make sure you get good adhesion to the bed. And then this area here where the cable wraps around has a little recess there, and that's got support material underneath there. This area here, also you need to remove all of the support material here. Just be careful and take your time with removing that though, because there's actually 2 little pins on the top and bottom flanges there, which if you're a bit rough and rushing removing the material, you'll probably snap those off too. So just be careful when you get to the ends, each end, removing that material. Next, let's have a look at the electronic components that come with the kit. First, we've got our fan, our DC fan. This fan is actually rated to 12 volts, but no need to worry. Yes, your USB port does output 5 volts. Just means that the fan runs a little bit slower, but with testing it draws quite a nice airflow even on 5 volts. And it only draws about 125 milliamps from your USB port, which is perfectly safe as well. Secondly, we have our cable, a USB DC charging cable. I've already snipped off the end of that cable, as you can see. So you'll need to do that in the project when we start assembling it. So let's get started on assembling. First thing you want to do is take the fan unit and take the arm which has the USB port on it, or the recess for the USB port, sorry. And you need to, this gently slides over, clips over top. We've got 2 pins on each side. You'll need to stretch these arms out a little bit. Obviously don't stretch them too far, otherwise they will break. But if you're just gentle and careful in doing it, they all go on very easily. This first one with the USB port, the orientation, it needs to go, notice where this wire's coming out. The one with this arm needs to go on this corner here as shown. So we just gently spread the arms and when they're in position on the holes, they'll just click in like that. Nice and firm there, with no chance of coming out. So you want to do that now with the remaining 3 arms. Assemble all of them on each corner, 1, 2, 3, and then we'll look at joining our fan motor to the USB cable. So next we just have to join our fan wire to our USB power wire. Easiest way to do that is we first have to measure the cable. The easiest way to do that is just sit the USB into its little tuck away spot for when it's not being used, and then wrap the cable around. This will have plenty of length in it to reach your USB ports when it's sitting underneath your computer. Wrap it all the way around, and then cut the cable so it's about halfway in between where my finger is, right there, about halfway along the arm that comes out. So what we'll do, I've already obviously pre-cut this one to about the right length, so you'll just snip your one to that length. And then we just need to solder these wires together. Likewise, we just need to shorten this one too to about the same point. So we just snip. And we'll just expose a little bit of wire at the end. Like that. And so that we can get a nice fitting at the end, it's actually easier to slide your wires up through here because it's very hard to get that black cable through any other way. Thread it up through like that, and then we need to solder our wires together. So if you haven't had any experience with soldering, I definitely recommend giving it a go. If you don't own a soldering torch, you can purchase one such as this little butane powered one. Very easy to use, just recharge with a butane canister. You can purchase these on our website if you don't have one, and get one sent out with your kit. So in order to solder, the easiest way to do this is just add a little bit of solder to one of the wires. And then we can bring the other wire into it and just gently work the solder onto both wires like that. So once you've got those two wires soldered up, we just need to apply a bit of electrical tape to each connection just to cover our join. Just to stop the wires touching one another and shorting out. Okay, once you've got those covered up, we can tuck this away. So once you've got these two wires all taped up, just do your best to tuck them back into this little recess where we pulled them out from. So that's about as good as we'll get those wires there. Just make sure that it's when it's sitting right way up, that it's sitting nice and flat on your surface. Next we can give it a quick test to make sure that everything's working. And so long as you've got your polarity around the right way, then the fan will be spinning the correct way. It'll be drawing air in from this top side and blowing it out through the bottom side, through the gap on the bottom. So here we've plugged it in to a USB port. We can just adjust the legs to how we want them. We can sit our laptop on top like that, and you've got a nice and sturdy laptop cooler. So thanks for watching. Be sure to check back at project3dprint.com for new and exciting projects.